The final breath in the sand. The desert was silent. Only the dry wind moved, carrying dust across the empty land. The human man, named Ryan, walked slowly. His boots sank into the soft sand with each step. He had been walking for hours. His water bottle was almost empty. He was tired, but something made him stop. He heard a sound. It was soft, like a whisper. Ryan turned his head. There it was again. A weak cough. He followed the sound, pushing through a wall of tall, dry plants. Behind them, lying in the sand, was an alien woman. She looked very old. Her skin was pale blue, dry and cracked like old paper. Her eyes were half open. Her breathing was slow and painful. Ryan rushed to her side and knelt down. Hey, are you okay?" he asked. The alien woman didn't answer at first. She blinked slowly, then looked at him. Her lips moved. Ryan leaned closer. "Human," she whispered. Her voice was dry and broken. "Please." Ryan opened his pack and gave her the last drop of water. She drank it weakly, barely able to swallow. Then she held out her hand. In her palm was a small, glowing pendant. It pulsed softly with a purple light. "Take this," she said. "Find her. My granddaughter." Ryan took the pendant. It was warm. He looked back at the old alien woman. "Where is she?" he asked. "Where's your granddaughter?" The woman gave a long, shaking breath. Her body trembled. "Protect her," she said. "Promise me, human. Promise." "I promise," Ryan said. The alien woman gave a small smile, and then she stopped breathing. The wind blew harder now. Ryan stood in silence for a long time. He had buried people before, back on Earth. But this was different. She was not human. Yet she had trusted him in her final moments. He looked down at the grave he made. The sand covered her gently. On top, he placed a circle of rocks. Then, he took the pendant and hung it around his neck. Ryan looked out at the desert. "Where are you, little one?" he whispered. Later, as the sun began to fall, he saw something strange. In the sand near the rocks, tiny footprints. They were small, too small for an adult. The shape was different too, not like human feet. 3 toes. Light steps a child, Ryan followed them. The trail moved toward a group of rocky hills. He walked faster, eyes scanning the area. The pendant around his neck glowed a little brighter. Night was coming. The sky turned dark red. Stars began to shine. As Ryan moved through the narrow path, between 2 rocks, he stopped again. He felt something. He was being watched. He turned quickly. Nothing, just rocks and shadows. He kept walking. But now he moved slowly, carefully. He listened, a soft sound behind him, a rock falling. He turned again. Still nothing. Was it the girl? Or something else? He reached a small cave. The footprints ended here. Ryan knelt down. He touched the sand. "Still warm. Hello?" he called softly. "I won't hurt you. Your grandmother. She asked me to protect you." No answer. Silence. He placed his backpack on the ground and sat by the cave's entrance. He would wait. He had made a promise. The wind howled through the rocks. Then, in the darkness behind him, 2 glowing eyes appeared. Ryan turned slowly. There she was, a small alien girl, thin, afraid, shaking. Her skin was the same pale blue as the old woman's. Her big eyes were full of fear. She didn't speak. She didn't move. Ryan stayed still. "It's okay," he said gently. "I'm not here to hurt you." The girl blinked. She looked at the pendant around his neck. It glowed softly. She stepped forward. Just a little. "You human?" she asked, voice soft and unsure. "Yes," Ryan said. "Your grandmother gave me this. She asked me to find you." The girl looked down. Her small hands clenched into fists. Her eyes watered. She is gone? Ryan didn't answer, but his silence was enough. The girl turned away and sat in the cave entrance, her back to him. Ryan sat beside her, not too close. They both looked at the stars, and in that quiet moment, nothing else mattered, except the promise Ryan had made. The wind moved slowly across the desert, carrying soft dust and silence. Ryan stood near the shallow grave he had made, where the old alien grandmother now rested. Her last words echoed in his mind. Protect her, my granddaughter. He hadn't seen any sign of a child. Until now. Just beyond the grave, tiny footprints had appeared. They were fresh, not from any animal. They had 3 toes, small, light steps. Ryan knelt down. His fingers brushed the print, still warm from the sun, still sharp in the sand. She was watching, he whispered. She was here. He stood and followed the trail. The footprints led toward the west, where the ground became rocky and uneven. Strange plants grew here, wide and flat with thorns that hissed when touched. Ryan moved carefully, watching every step. The desert was silent again, too silent. He paused behind a rock and scanned the hills. Still no child, no voice, no movement. But something else caught his eye. A piece of fabric stuck on a thorn bush. It was soft, blue and glowing faintly under the sunlight. Ryan took it, a child's scarf. He looked up the hill. The trail was harder to see now, but it was there. Small marks on stone, a few broken twigs, dust disturbed just slightly. Someone was definitely running or hiding. By midday, Ryan reached the base of a small cliff. The trail stopped at a narrow crack in the rocks, almost hidden. He stepped inside. The air grew cool and quiet. The stone walls rose high on both sides. It felt like a tunnel. He walked slowly. His boots echoed softly. Then he froze. A whisper. Not in English. Not loud, but clearly a child's voice. He turned around. Nothing. Still, he felt it again. Eyes on him. Hello? He called softly. I'm not here to hurt you. I made a promise to your grandmother. No answer, but the pendant on his neck, glowing brighter now, pulled forward like it was guiding him. Ryan followed the light deeper into the rocks. The tunnel opened into a small cave. Dust floated in the air. A few dried roots hung from the ceiling, and in the corner, something moved. Ryan raised his hands. It's okay, I won't come closer. A pair of glowing blue eyes peeked from the shadows. She was there. A small alien girl barely older than 6 or 7 in human years. Her skin was light blue like her grandmother's. Her hair was short and white. Her arms and legs were thin, from hunger. But her eyes were full of fire. And fear. Ryan took off his pack and set it on the floor. Food, he said gently. You hungry? The girl didn't speak, but her eyes locked onto the pack. Ryan opened it slowly. He took out a protein bar and unwrapped it. He placed it on the ground between them and stepped back. After a long pause, the girl crawled forward. She grabbed the bar and sniffed it. Then, she bit it quickly. And again. In seconds, it was gone. Ryan smiled. I have more. The girl wiped her mouth and looked at him, still quiet. Then she whispered, Human? Ryan nodded. Yes, my name is Ryan. The girl blinked. Ryan, you come from Sky? He nodded again. Ship crashed. I'm alone now. The girl looked down. Me too. She pointed to the glowing pendant. She gave that to you? Yes. Before she... Ryan paused. Before she died. The girl lowered her head. I saw her fall. I watched. I wanted to run to her. But she told me to hide. Ryan's heart ached. She told me to protect you. The girl's hands trembled. She whispered, I have no one now. Ryan moved closer. Not too close. You're not alone anymore. Suddenly, a distant sound. A low growl. Ryan stood fast. The girl gasped and pulled back into the shadows. Something was outside, moving fast. Crawling over the rocks, Ryan turned toward the cave entrance and pulled out his blaster. "Stay behind me," he said calmly. The girl didn't move. A shadow passed by the opening. Ryan held his breath. Then, silence. Minutes passed. Nothing came in. Ryan lowered his weapon, but not all the way. He turned to the girl. "You can't stay here. It's not safe anymore." She looked scared. "Where would we go?" He thought for a moment. "I don't know yet, but I promised her I'd protect you, and I will." The girl stared at him, then, slowly, she nodded. She stepped forward and reached for his hand. It was small, cold, but she held it tightly. "My name," she whispered, "is Kaylee." Ryan smiled. "Nice to meet you, Kaylee." Together they walked out of the cave. The wind had picked up again, but now it wasn't just dust and silence. Now, it was the start of something more. A journey, a promise, and a story that was far from over. The sun rose slowly over the rocky hills. Warm light touched the sand, but the cave stayed dark and cool. Ryan opened his eyes. He had fallen asleep sitting up just outside the cave. His back hurt. His legs were sore. But he didn't care. He looked to his side. The small alien girl was still there. She had slept curled up like a scared animal. Her arms wrapped around her knees, her face buried in them. She was alive. That was what mattered. Ryan didn't speak. He didn't want to scare her. After a while, she opened her eyes. Her big, glowing eyes looked at him full of confusion and fear. Ryan gave her a soft smile. "Morning," he said. The girl blinked. She didn't answer. He pointed to his backpack and spoke slowly. "Food. You hungry?" She looked at the bag, then at him. "You poison me?" she asked in a small voice. Ryan shook his head. "No, never." He opened the bag and showed her. Dried fruit. Slowly he took a bite himself and then offered one to her. She stared at it for a moment. Then carefully she reached out and took the fruit. She sniffed it, then took a small bite. Her eyes widened slightly. It wasn't just food. It was something she hadn't tasted in days. She ate slowly, still watching him. "What's your name?" Ryan asked. The girl hesitated. She placed her hand on her chest. "Kaylee." "Nice to meet you, Kaylee. I'm Ryan." "Ryan," she repeated slowly. He smiled again. "That's right." They stayed near the cave for most of the day. Kaylee didn't talk much. She mostly watched the sky and stayed near the rocks like a wild creature. Ryan didn't push her. He knew fear. He had seen war, hunger, death. This girl had lived through all that, and more. At noon, Ryan tried asking about her grandmother. Kaylee looked down. "She told me to hide," she whispered. "She said they were coming." "Who?" "Bad ones. They took my home. Burned it." Ryan's jaw tightened. "Do you know who they were?" Kaylee shook her head. "Not their names, but they wanted me. Grandmother said, I'm different." Ryan looked at her closely. She was thin, small, but there was something strange about her. Her skin glowed faintly in the dark. Her eyes seemed to change color with emotion, and the pendant he wore still pulsed with light whenever she was near. "What do you mean by different?" he asked. Kaylee didn't answer. She just looked up at the sky. Ryan sighed. He stood up and stretched. "We can't stay here forever," he said. "Do you know any safe place nearby?" Kaylee thought for a moment. "There is an old ship, crashed near the cliffs. We used to hide there when the storms came." "Good. Let's go before dark." They started walking. Kaylee stayed a few steps behind him. Her eyes scanned everything: rocks, sky, shadows. She was nervous. Ryan understood. After an hour, they reached a narrow path between two cliffs. Suddenly, Kaylee froze. Ryan turned. "What is it?" She pointed. "Someone's watching." Ryan's hand went to his weapon. He turned in a full circle, but saw nothing. Still, he felt it too. A presence. Watching. Waiting. They moved quickly now. By sunset, they reached the crash site. The broken ship was half buried in the sand. Its sides were burnt. Metal parts lay scattered around like bones. Ryan helped Kaylee climb, inside through a broken hatch. Inside, it was dark but safe. Cool air, metal walls, strange alien symbols glowed softly. "This was your ship?" Ryan asked. Kaylee nodded. "Long ago, before the fall." They sat in silence. Then Kaylee spoke, her voice shaking. "Ryan, they want me because of my light." "Light?" She raised her hand. For a moment, nothing happened. Then soft light glowed from her palm. Warm, golden. It danced in the air like a small flame. Ryan stared. "What is that?" "I don't know," she said. "But grandmother said it's old. Very old. Passed down. Only I have it now." Ryan's heart pounded. This wasn't just a scared alien child. This girl was something special, and someone out there was hunting her for it. He placed a hand on her shoulder. "No matter what happens, Kaylee, I'll keep you safe." Kaylee looked at him, eyes shining. "I believe you." But outside, in the shadows of the desert, another pair of eyes watched the broken ship, waiting. The night was cold. The stars above the broken ship blinked like silent watchers. Inside the ship, Ryan stayed awake. He sat near the entrance with his old blaster in hand. He didn't trust the darkness outside. Kaylee was sleeping in a corner, wrapped in an old blanket. Even in sleep, she looked tense. Her small hands clutched the glowing pendant Ryan now wore around his neck. Its light pulsed faintly, as if warning them. Ryan had seen war before. He had heard stories about powers that humans didn't understand. But Kaylee's light, that strange glow in her palm, it wasn't just power. It felt alive. Suddenly, a noise. Metal scraped against metal outside. The ship. Ryan stood up fast, pointing his blaster toward the sound. "Who's there?" he shouted. No answer. Then, silence. Until, crash. A part of the wall caved in. Something slammed into it from outside. Kaylee woke with a scream. Ryan pulled her close. "Stay behind me." A dark shape crawled through the hole. It wasn't human. It wasn't even fully alien. It looked like a monster from a nightmare. Tall, thin, with long claws and eyes that glowed like fire. Kaylee gasped. "It's them!" The creature snarled and rushed forward. Ryan fired. The blast hit its shoulder, knocking it back, but not stopping it. The creature howled, then leaped again. Kaylee's hand lit up without her control. Golden energy shot out, hitting the monster in the chest. It screamed and exploded into light and smoke. Silence. Only Kaylee's light remained. Ryan stared at her. "What was that?" Kaylee was shaking. "I didn't mean to, it just happened." Ryan knelt beside her. "It saved us. That's what matters." But they both knew something now. Kaylee's power was stronger than they thought, and someone had sent that creature. They couldn't stay here anymore. At dawn, they left the crashed ship. Kaylee wore a scarf to cover her glowing skin. Ryan stayed alert. They moved quickly across the rocky hills, sticking to shadows. Kaylee didn't speak much. Her eyes stayed low. She looked like she blamed herself. Ryan tried to cheer her up. "That blast last night, that was amazing. You're like a walking star." Kaylee gave a small smile. "Stars burn everything near them." Ryan shook his head. "No, stars give light. They help people find their way in the dark." By midday, they reached an abandoned alien village. The buildings were made of stone and glass, now broken and empty. It looked like a ghost town. "This place used to be full of life," Kaylee whispered. "We came here once when I was small." They found shelter inside an old house. The roof was half broken, but it would do. Kaylee sat near a dusty window, hugging her knees. "Why are they chasing me?" she asked. "Why can't they just leave me alone?" Ryan sat beside her. "Because people fear what they don't understand, and some only want power. But I promised your grandmother I won't let them take you." Kaylee's eyes filled with tears. "Do you think she knew this would happen?" Ryan nodded. "She knew. That's why she trusted me." Suddenly, the pendant around his neck blinked faster. "What's happening?" he asked. Kaylee stood. "It's warning us. They're close." Outside the house, the wind picked up. In the shadows between the ruined buildings, more creatures moved, tall, silent. Watching, Ryan grabbed Kaylee's hand. "We run, now!" They ran through the alleyways, breath sharp, hearts racing. The creatures followed, fast and hungry. Ryan turned and fired. One creature dropped. Another jumped onto a wall, crawling like a spider. Kaylee sent a blast of light, destroying it. But they kept coming. Kaylee screamed. "Too many?" Ryan looked ahead. A tunnel in the cliff wall. A way out. "Go," he shouted. "I'll cover you." "No, I'm not leaving you. Just go." Kaylee ran into the tunnel. Ryan fired again and again, covering her. When he saw her light disappear inside, he followed. They ran through the narrow tunnel. The creatures didn't follow this time. Too narrow, too old. Finally, they came out the other side, into a wide valley with glowing blue trees. They were safe. For now. Kaylee fell to her knees, breathing hard. Ryan sat beside her. They didn't speak for a while. Then Kaylee looked at him. "You could have left me." "I don't break promises," Ryan said. She reached out and touched his hand. "Thank you for not giving up." Ryan smiled. "You're not alone anymore." The valley was quiet. Strange blue trees swayed gently, their glowing leaves moving like soft waves. Light bugs floated in the air, blinking like tiny stars. For the first time in days, the world didn't feel like it was trying to kill them. Ryan and Kaylee sat under one of the glowing trees. Their clothes were dusty, their faces were tired, but they were alive. "I've never seen a place like this," Ryan whispered. Kaylee nodded. "It's sacred. To my people." "You've been here before?" She hesitated, then slowly said, "Only once. I was very small. My grandmother brought me." She looked up at the glowing leaves. She said, "This place remembers. It listens to the past." Ryan frowned. "Listens? What does that mean?" Kaylee stood and walked to the center of the valley. A stone circle was carved into the ground, hidden beneath moss and roots. She knelt and placed both hands on it. The ground lit up with soft gold light. Then, the air changed. Whispers filled the valley. Not loud, not clear. Just voices, echoes of things long gone. Ryan could not understand the words, but Kaylee could. Her eyes widened. Ryan stepped closer. "What is it? What do you hear?" Kaylee didn't speak. Then her voice broke the silence. "It's her. Your grandmother?" Kaylee nodded. "She left a memory here, in case something happened to her." The whispers grew stronger. Suddenly, a ghost-like image appeared above the stone. It was Kaylee's grandmother, young and proud with glowing robes and strong eyes. Her voice echoed through the air. "To the one who finds this message, protect Kaylee. She carries more than light. She carries our last hope. Our enemies feared our gift, so they destroyed us. They knew what the child would become. But if you are listening, she is still alive. And you must help her find the source. Without it, all will fade." The message faded into sparkles. Kaylee fell back, breathing hard. Her hands trembled. Ryan helped her sit up. "What is the source?" Kaylee shook her head. "I don't know. She never told me." Ryan looked around. Did your people have powers? Like you? Kaylee nodded slowly. Once, yes. We were healers. Builders. We made light that helped worlds grow, but others feared it. They called it too dangerous. So they hunted us. Ryan clenched his fists. So you're the last? Kaylee's eyes filled with tears. I think so. He put an arm around her shoulder. Then we protect you. We find this source. We finish what your people started. Kaylee looked up. You'd do that? Even when it's not your fight? Ryan smiled. It is now. That night they built a small fire. Kaylee leaned against Ryan's side, tired but calm. Do you miss your world? She asked. Ryan looked at the sky. Sometimes, but Earth? It wasn't perfect. War, pain, greed, I saw people suffer every day. Then why did you come out here? I wanted to escape. But now... He looked at her. Now I think I was meant to find you. Kaylee didn't speak, but her small hand gently reached for his. Later, when the fire had died and the stars were bright, a soft beep came from the pendant around Ryan's neck. Kaylee sat up. It's never done that before. Ryan touched the gem. A small projection appeared, an old map with glowing symbols and a path marked in red. Kaylee's breath caught. That's it. That's the path to the source. Ryan stood. Then we follow it. Kaylee stood beside him. It won't be safe. I don't care. She smiled. Then let's go. But far away, in a dark control room lit only by red screens, a tall figure watched the valley through a hidden drone. He smiled. So, the child still lives, he said in a cold voice. Send the hunters, he ordered, and tell them, I want the human alive. Kaylee and Ryan followed the glowing path on the pendant's map for 2 days. The land changed, from blue forests to sharp black cliffs. The sky above turned cloudy, heavy with warning. They didn't speak much. There was something in the air, a feeling, like something was coming. Kaylee walked close to Ryan. Her small hand gripped his arm sometimes, even when she didn't notice. They reached a high ridge and looked down. There, hidden in the valley below, stood a structure, tall, old, and covered in vines. It looked like a temple made of dark stone and silver light. The source is there, Kaylee said softly. Ryan nodded. Let's finish this. They climbed down slowly. As they reached the base of the temple, the pendant blinked faster. Kaylee's skin glowed more brightly now, even through her scarf. The front door of the temple opened on its own. Ryan raised his weapon. Stay close. Inside, the temple was cold, quiet. The walls hummed with soft blue energy. Kaylee walked ahead, drawn by something she didn't understand. Then a voice echoed through the air. Well, you made it. They both froze. From the shadows, a tall alien figure stepped out. He looked similar to Kaylee's kind, but stronger, sharper, and darker. His eyes glowed red instead of gold. His armor was smooth and black. Kaylee stepped back. Her breath caught. Jarak, she whispered. You were my grandmother's brother. Ryan's eyes narrowed. Family? Kaylee nodded slowly. He disappeared when I was a baby. Jarak laughed. No, little light. I didn't disappear. I left. Ryan stepped forward. Stay away from her. Jarak smiled. Ah, the human, pet. I've watched you. You protect her well. But do you even know what she is? She's a child, Ryan shouted. A child your people tried to destroy. No, Jarak said calmly. I tried to save our people. He began to circle them like a wolf. Our kind became weak. Healers, dreamers, peaceful fools. But Kaylee's power? That's the old blood. The true fire. With it, we can rule again. We can become more. Kaylee shook her head. That's not what grandmother wanted. Jarak's voice turned cold. She was afraid. She locked away the truth. But I saw it. I embraced it. He raised his hand. Soldiers stepped out of the shadows. Strange hybrids, half machine, half alien with sharp armor and red eyes. "You can't stop this," Jarak said. "Give her to me, or die trying." Ryan aimed his blaster. "Then we'll die fighting." A sudden pulse of energy filled the room. Kaylee's light exploded outward, bright gold, pushing back the soldiers like wind. Her eyes shone brighter than ever before. "No," she cried. "You will not touch him." Jarak was pushed back. He staggered, shocked. "You've awakened it already?" Kaylee stepped forward. Her small body was wrapped in light. "I don't want to rule, I don't want power, I just want peace, but if you come near us again, I will end this." Ryan watched in awe. She wasn't just a child anymore. She was becoming something greater. Jarak scowled. "So be it." He pressed a device on his arm. The ground beneath them cracked. The temple began to shake. "Then the source will be mine, even if I must destroy you both to reach it." Rocks fell. Walls split. Ryan grabbed Kaylee's hand and pulled her back. "Come on." They ran through the falling temple as soldiers chased them. Kaylee blasted light at the enemies behind them, her powers stronger with each step. Ryan blasted ahead, clearing the path. At the exit, Ryan was hit in the side. One of the soldiers had fired. He fell. "Ryan!" Kaylee screamed. She turned, her hands glowing with wild, burning light. She didn't even aim. Her power exploded like a sun. The entire hallway behind her turned white, and then silent. She ran to Ryan. He was bleeding but breathing. "You okay?" she cried. Ryan coughed. "I've had worse." Kaylee pulled him up. Together they limped out of the crumbling temple. Behind them, Jarak's voice echoed in anger. "This isn't over." Outside, the clouds broke open. Sunlight poured into the valley again. Ryan collapsed near a rock. Kaylee sat beside him. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "You got hurt because of me." Ryan smiled through pain. "I'd take worse to keep you safe." Kaylee looked at her hands. "I can't run anymore. If he wants to destroy the source, we have to stop him." Ryan took her hand. "Then we stop him. Together." She nodded. For the first time, her light didn't flicker. It blazed. The sun was rising over the broken valley. The ruins of the old temple smoked behind them. Ryan sat with his back against a rock, holding his side where he had been hit. The wound was deep, but he was still breathing. Kaylee knelt beside him. Her small hands were glowing again, warm and steady. She placed her palm over his wound. A golden light flowed into his skin. Slowly, the bleeding stopped. The pain faded. "I'm not as good as grandmother," she whispered. "But I'm learning." Ryan smiled weakly. "You're doing great, Starfire." Kaylee blinked. "Starfire?" He laughed softly. "It suits you." She gave a tiny smile, but it faded quickly. Her eyes turned toward the temple ruins. "He's still alive," she said. "Jarak won't stop until he takes the source, or destroys it. Then we stop running," Ryan said. "We face him." Kaylee looked at her hands. "I'm ready now." They followed the last signal from the pendant. It led them to a hidden chamber beneath the valley. An ancient staircase carved into the rock spiraled down, into darkness. The pendant glowed brighter with each step. Ryan held his blaster tightly. Kaylee walked beside him, no longer scared. Finally, they reached it, a great underground room full of light. At its center stood the source, a floating orb, golden and alive, pulsing like a heart. Light beams spun around it, whispering in strange voices. Kaylee stepped forward. The orb reacted, glowing even brighter. "It's calling to me," she said softly. But then, a cold laugh. Jarak stepped out from the shadows, armor cracked but eyes full of fury. Behind him were his last two soldiers, dark, silent, deadly. "I warned you," Jarak hissed. "You could have ruled beside me, Kaylee. Together, we would have been gods." "I don't want to be a god," Kaylee said. "I want to be good." Jarak raised his hand. "Then you die as a fool." The soldiers charged. Ryan moved fast, His blaster fired, striking one soldier in the chest. Kaylee blocked the other with a wave of golden light. Jarak ran toward the source. "No!" Kaylee cried. She flew forward, faster than she knew she could. "Move." The orb rose high into the air. It bathed the chamber in warm, blinding light. Jarak jumped to grab it. Kaylee reached it first. She floated in the air now, her body wrapped in golden fire. Her eyes glowed like suns. Jarak froze. The soldiers stopped. Even Ryan held his breath. Kaylee spoke, but her voice was different now, full of power, full of peace. This gift was not meant for war, not for power. It was meant for life, for hope. She looked down at Jarak. "You tried to twist it. You tried to take it, but you don't deserve it." Jarak growled. "You're just a child." Kaylee raised her hand. "You were family once, but now, you are the past." Her light grew too bright to look at. Jarak screamed, and then he was gone. Just light, then silence. The source floated down again, calm now. Its light dimmed to a warm glow. Kaylee dropped to the floor, breathing hard. Ryan caught her before she fell. "You did it," he whispered. She nodded, eyes full of tears. "I kept the promise." They returned to the surface together. The valley was quiet, peaceful. The storm was over. Ryan sat under one of the glowing trees again. His wound had healed. The air smelled fresh. Kaylee sat beside him, leaning on his shoulder. "Where will we go now?" she asked. "Anywhere you want," he said. "There's a whole galaxy out there." Kaylee looked up at the sky. "Maybe we'll find others like me." "Maybe," Ryan said. "And maybe we'll teach the galaxy what real light looks like." She smiled. "You think humans and my people can build something new together?" Ryan looked at her. "With you leading the way?" "I don't just think it. I believe it." She held up the pendant. Its glow was soft now, steady. A light that would never fade. Kaylee whispered, "Thank you, Ryan, for keeping her last wish." He smiled. "A promise is a promise."